Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Live Penguin TV. My name's Sky. I'm going to be your host tonight, and we've got a new producer in the seat next to me tonight. Come on in, Tom.
Hi guys, welcome everyone, and I hope you enjoy your viewing tonight. I've been here 13 years as a ranger. I've been watching these guys for about 4 or 5 nights a week for the last 13 years and haven't got sick of the penguins yet, so I'm sure you won't either.
There we go. So that is very good news for us here. Now, Tom is going to be answering all of your questions. So if you have any questions tonight, make sure you pop them in the comments, and he will ask a few of them live on screen for you tonight. But the thing to remember is that if we don't get to it on the screen tonight, what you can do is if you ask the questions on Facebook in particular, we've got a team of rangers who's going to be answering these questions over the next 24 hours. So if you ask the question on Facebook, and Facebook is working tonight, we're really pleased about it, we will try our best to get you an answer within the next 24 hours. Now, I can just hear a little bit of it's playing back to me. Can you hear that, everybody? We're just going to have to go through that. Hopefully you can hear me clearly. I can just hear myself in a bit of a reverb. So hopefully that's not interrupting the sound quality for you. We are coming to you live from Phillip Island Nature Parks, and this is the world famous penguin parade. You can see the stands in front of us there, and these penguins are going to be coming up on the shores of Malau, which is another way of saying Phillip Island. That's the word that the traditional custodians use, and the traditional custodians here are the Bunurong of the Kulin Nation. So I'd just like to acknowledge the Bunurong as the traditional custodians of the land here in Malau, and acknowledge elders past, present and emerging. So let us know in the comments where you're watching from, and let us know the country on which you're watching as well. We're coming from Bunurong country, as I said. You might be coming from somewhere else, so let us know where you're watching from tonight. Okay. Let's have a look at what we've got in front of us. We have got the stands, as I said, and you might be able to see let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit, a bit of an orange figure just in the middle there. That is the lovely Linda, and she has got her binoculars out looking for penguins because we're waiting for penguins to arrive on the shore tonight. So she's looking around there. We've also got the skybox up here in the middle of the camera there, that little building, and in that building tonight is Stephen, which many of you will remember if you've been watching other streams before. So Stephen's one of our hosts, and he is the penguin counter tonight. So you can test your chops against Stephen by counting the penguins, and we'll see who gets it more correct. But of course, we're waiting for the penguins to arrive. They've been out in the ocean at least for today, but maybe longer, and we're waiting for them to come back to land. So let's have a little look and see if we can see any. Now, Stephen has given us a call already and said he can see a few rafts forming. And when I say rafts, I mean groups of penguins in the water. So when penguins are in the water, we call it a raft of penguins when they group together, and they're grouping together because there's safety in numbers and they want to cross the beach all at the same time. Now, what we're going to be watching is the little penguin. That is their name, the little penguin. Little by name and little by nature. And, oh, we've got a few on the water's edge, actually. Oh, I thought it would be much too early for that. Let's have a little look. Oh, yep, so a few have turned up just on the water's edge here. But that is a very small group. Now, if you were watching last night, we had a huge group to begin with. And yep, you can see that these little guys are going, no, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I reckon there's less than 10 of them right there, or around 10. But you guys are the penguin counters, so you let me know how many you think there are. But yeah, a very small group. And they're thinking, no, we don't want to risk crossing the beach with only 10 of us this early, this light, because, of course, there's predators that might like to eat them if they cross the beach too early and those predators haven't gone to sleep. So things like Pacific gulls, things like swamp harriers or wedge-tail eagles or any big predatory birds or birds of prey could still be awake and could come down and eat these little guys. So, yep, they're thinking, no, it's too early to cross. There's not enough of us. We're not going to take the risk. So you can sort of see them clinging to the rocks a little bit there, trying to stay nice and camouflaged. Oh, we've got a bunny on the top screen above there. Get out the way. That's the penguin highway, not the bunny highway. So, yeah, these penguins are thinking about it, but I don't think we'll see this group of penguins cross just yet. I think they're going to be waiting for more penguins to arrive. And the way that they're going to arrive is that they find each other in the water and they make a hucking noise. They go, huck, and that is, they're saying to each other, hey, you ready? Are you ready to go in? Because I'm ready to go in. And when they're all ready to go in, they swim at the same time in. So these guys have formed a small little raft together, but it's not really enough of them to warrant crossing the beach just yet. So let's go see if we can see any more rafts. In fact, I reckon that's one out in the middle of the screen there. Can you see that's it sort of looks like a dark patch in the water. It's a disturbance in the water because it's a whole lot of penguins grouping together. Yep, that looks like a raft. Can you see the splashing? Just like last night, I think we're going to be able to watch them swim in. So let's see, can we focus? Yes. Yep, there we go. So this is a raft of penguins right now, and yep, they are on the way. You can see the penguins darting in the front. So as we watch them come in, you can support us by going to the Penguin Foundation. The link is in the description of this video. And you can support us by adopting a penguin or perhaps becoming a penguin pal. There's all sorts of things you can do, and it helps support the work that we do here on Phillip Island, the important conservation work we do. Because we here at Phillip Island Nature Parks, we are a not-for-profit conservation organisation, and at the moment we do need your help because usually we would be self-funded by visitors coming and visiting us, but at the moment, of course, we can't have any visitors at our sites, so we do need your support. So if you've got any dollars spare, do feel free to give us a donation. It helps us continue doing the important work we're doing. But yep, here come they're on the way. So you can see them darting through the water, literally surfing in, and they are just about to hit these other penguins that we've got in the front here. So just like the movie Surf's Up, they are surfing on in, and we're about to see a stack of penguins. Here they come. Woohoo! All right, look at that. Oh, gosh, they're getting washed against the rocks here. And that is a veritable swarm of penguins. That is a stack of penguins. So remember that Stephen's job tonight is to count these penguins, and this is an almighty group. So those original penguins that we saw to the side are probably going to be looking at those penguins there going, why aren't you over here? And they're going to be probably jumping across to try and join this big group. But this big group is feeling reasonably confident. And they're going to be making their way across the beach very shortly. All right. So they're finding their way through those rocks. They feel reasonably safe within the rocks because they are blending in. They are nice and camouflaged. And as they get to the edge of these rocks, they're going to have to make that dangerous dash. Oh, but they're not, it looks like they're not quite sure about where they've landed. That seems like, can you see them all kind of crossing to across the beach a little bit? It seems like perhaps they've washed up just a little bit to the side of where they want to be, perhaps, and they're going, this isn't quite right. We need to get across a little bit. Yep, the rest of the penguins are joining in, and they are tentatively making their way across the beach now. Oh, yep, getting a bit more speed now. Penguins have arrived, everybody. They're here and they're doing that dangerous dash. They are waddling. Oh, yep, there's some from the side there running to join in. Oh, they're spreading out now. Oh, try and count them, everybody. Think of Stephen as you do. Oh, I am not jealous of him. And last night we had what was it, Tom? How many did we have last night?
1,323.
1,323 penguins all up last night. So, yep, we are seeing some really big numbers of penguins coming now that the breeding season has officially begun. Let's zoom out a little bit just to get the full picture. Oh, no, that's too far. Sorry, everyone. There we go. So you can see the penguins that are just arriving on the rocks there. You can see the last ones just struggling across the beach. There's a few stragglers down the very end who some of them are making the dash, others are waiting for the next group to come along. But, yep, well, that is a big raft of penguins. Poor Stephen. So, yep, many of them are continuing on their way. We can see quite a number of them heading underneath this Penguins Plus stand. And in better times, you would be sitting on that stand right now watching these little penguins go directly beneath you. But, of course, it shouldn't be too much longer now until we can actually have you back sitting on those stands. We can't wait. And some of them are sitting in the middle there. Now, I've just had word from Stephen that that swarm, that waddle of penguins, was 176 penguins. Let us know in the comments if that's what you got. It's still very light. We're getting great picture quality tonight because it's still so light. So what a great group to see so early in the night. Let's follow a few of them home. So let's see if we can follow a few of these guys up the hill. And some of these little penguins will be waddling maybe up to 2 kilometres home tonight. Some of them, of course, live in these beachfront mansions. Oh, let's change cameras. Some of them live in burrows right near the beach, and some of them, will be walking literally just a couple of metres, but others, maybe 2 kilometres tonight. And that is a fair waddle of penguins coming past. And watch the way that they waddle. See how they rock from side to side. If you would like to give waddling a go, what you need to do is stand up, put your arms or your wings to the side of you, and lock your knees in, because these little penguins, they do have knees, but they don't bend very well. They're very high up in their body. So these little penguins can't bend those knees. So that means if you try to walk with your knees not bending, you'll find that you have to rock from side to side. And that's how we get that famous penguin waddle. And yet when we have a group of penguins walking together or waddling together, we call them a waddle of penguins. It's a raft when they're in the water, but a waddle of penguins when they're on the land. So if you're at home, have a go at waddling around the room. See what it's like to be a penguin. And then imagine doing that for 2 kilometres. They're tough little things. They may be small, but they are hardy little things. So we're seeing great footage of these little guys walking along here. And let's get a question. Let's see if Tom's got any questions from you guys at home.
First of all, we'd like to send a cheerio to the Beaconsfield Primary School. They're actually watching tonight's telecast at a virtual camp. So, hi kids, hope you're enjoying it tonight.
Hi Beaconsfield, hope you're enjoying it.
From Yanton and Samara, I hope I pronounced that properly. How many penguins do we have in the colony?
Great questions, everybody. So let me get back to some penguins while I tell you about that. There's one little last penguin walking along that top little screen there. Oh, yep, penguins. Oh, gosh, it's penguins galore tonight. Yep, we have 32,000 penguins in this colony. So last night we saw, and here's some more penguins coming. Oh, gosh, zoom in. Wow, look at that. They're really spreading out. Look at that. See those white bellies crossing. Yep, so last night we had 1,323 penguins cross our beaches, but in our whole colony, which spreads right down the peninsula, the Summerland Peninsula here, we have got 32,000 penguins. So we don't see anywhere near that sort of number crossing a beach overnight. The most we've ever had was a bit over 4,000 penguins. But yes, in total, 32,000. So thank you so much for asking that. And yet, here, have a watch. So these penguins, they look like they're feeling pretty confident to be spreading out in such a way that they are now. Really making that dangerous dash across the beach. They're just scurrying, aren't they? And yes, as I said, we're expecting some pretty big numbers at the moment, and that is because the breeding season has officially begun. It started a little bit early Oh, look at all these penguins, my goodness. It has started a little bit early this year, but all the penguins seem to have got the message that it is a good time to breed. And because of that, we are seeing stacks and stacks of penguins at the moment. And that is because they have got perhaps eggs that they've got to come back to. They believe in equality, our penguins. So we see that the males and the females will both look after the eggs. And of course, they have to get their food from the ocean because the ocean is their supermarket. So we see that penguins coming back every few days at least to give their partner a chance to go to the ocean, get their food, and then take their turn on the eggs and swap like that. So we see lots of penguins coming and going at this time of year. Of course, then the chicks hatch as well, and then these chicks need feeding hopefully every single day, which means that one adult will stay with the babies or the chicks in the burrow while the other goes out and gets fish. Then the penguin that has gone out to get the fish will come back and deliver that fish directly into their baby's mouth. They almost vomit it into their baby's mouth, which sounds really disgusting to me, but it is a delightful dinner for a penguin. They don't mind mushed up fish that has been carried around in their parents' belly. Whoa, yuck, no thank you. So here we are, seeing them nice and up close again. And if you look while we're looking at them nice and up close, you might be able to tell the difference between the boys and the girls, the males and the females. And the way to do that is to look at their beak. If they've got a thicker beak with a more pronounced hook on the end, it's more likely to be a male. Or if they have a small slender beak, it's more likely to be a female. But it is really hard to tell. We need to get our calipers, our little penguin rulers out to really know for sure. All right, we got any more questions, Tom?
From Derek and Daniel, how tall are our penguins and what do they weigh?
Oh, great question, Derek and Daniel. Thank you for asking that. So, yep, they are little by name, little by nature, as I said. They are 33 centimetres tall, so just a little bit longer than one of the rulers that you might have at school. And they weigh about a kilo. About a kilo. Of course, that can almost double when it is molting season, but we're not anywhere near that yet, so I won't tell you too much about molting season right now. Let's go back to the beach and see if we can see any more penguins on the way. Oh, yep, another raft. Oh, gosh, they're really spreading out tonight. And this can sometimes make it a little bit difficult for our penguin counters. If they all go in a bit of a group, in a bit of a straight line, you can start to get some groups together and make some good estimations like that. But when they all spread out, it can be quite difficult to get them all in your binoculars and get a good guess. So poor Stephen is under the pump tonight with lots and lots of penguins. We are seeing absolutely stacks of penguins tonight. Oh, you can see one penguin must have a pretty bit of a beachfront mansion there, I would say. It's just gone out of screen, but we just saw one going across the grass there. So I would say that it has a burrow nice and close to the beach there. So that's a lucky penguin. It doesn't have to walk so far. Now these penguins seem quite relaxed, and we've talked about it a lot because it's something we see night after night after night. Let's get really nice and close to some of these penguins who are preening. They are looking after their feathers. So a healthy penguin should be waterproof, shouldn't have water touching their skin because they can get cold, they can get sick, they can get waterlogged. It's no good for them. There we go. So these guys, they've come out of the water. They're shaking themselves to dry off. They're shaking their heads to get rid of excess salt because these guys, they eat seafood and they drink seawater, but they don't want all that excess salt. So they have a gland in their heads that is sort of like a salt water filter, I guess, and it sort of filters out the salt. And then to get rid of that salt, they shake their heads and it flings the salt kind of out of their nostrils there. So you'll see them shaking their heads and preening their feathers, making sure that they're nice and waterproof. It's the first thing they often do when they get home before they continue on their way back to the burrow. But yep, some of them do seem to be on a hurry tonight because, yep, maybe they've got chicks to feed. Maybe they've got eggs to take their turn to sit on to give their partner a break. But, oh, they're so sweet, aren't they, everybody? All right. Any more questions, Tom?
An unusual one.
Ooh.
What is the light off in the distance? Is that a lighthouse?
Oh, good question.
And that was from Peter.
Peter, great question, Peter. Let's actually get that on the screen. Give me a moment and I'll show you what we're talking about. So if you look out into the distance over there, you can sort of see out to Pyramid Rock. It should come any moment now. We've still got the penguins on screen, but I'll just leave it so that you can see this beacon. Yep, there we go. It just flashed for us there. So that is a beacon. It's on Cape Woolamice on the other side of the island. We've got a beacon in part of our parks, and you can actually walk out to it, which is a really lovely walk around Cape Woolamice. So when you can come back to Phillip Island, really recommend the Cape Woolamice walk. All right, so come on, focus. Where are you? So I'll just try and get them in clear focus for you. But I also might flick cameras as well because we've got a few penguins coming along the highway. So it is the 5-minute warning, everybody. So make sure if you've got any more questions, do ask them. We would love to answer them, but do remember that if you've asked on Facebook, we do have a great judges who will be doing their best to answer your questions within the next 24 hours. Also remember that you can adopt a penguin. It does not mean that you want to. They're not a good pet. As cute as they are very bitey and they're very smelly and they poo a lot and they've got very high velocity poo. Shoot it out of their bum. So they're not a good pet, but you can symbolically adopt a little penguin or become a penguin pal is another option that you can do, and that supports the work that we do here for conservation and looks after these penguins. So that's a really great thing you can do if you'd like to support us. If you just love penguins too much and you like watching Night After Night, that really helps us out. So get your last questions in, and I've just spotted a shell gritter. So in the middle of the screen here, going onto the beach, walking the opposite way. We've seen a few of them over the last few nights, and that really does let us know that breeding season is here. So in the middle of the screen there's a penguin just nibbling around on the ground. And that is a soon-to-be mama penguin who has probably been in her nest or in her burrow today and has come down now that it's safe to do so and is walking out onto the sand to nibble at shells because she wants the extra calcium. She's making eggs in her belly at the moment, and you can see her waddling onto the beach there. So she's developing those eggs, and she needs to make the egg shell, which is of course made of calcium. So because she's going to be low on calcium because she's using it all for those eggs, she's going pretty much for a calcium supplement. It's like taking a pregnancy hormone, a pregnancy vitamin, so that she can make sure she can make those eggs nice and strong and still keep her calcium stores nice and healthy too. So yeah, we see penguins that look like they're going the wrong way but aren't going the wrong way. They're going the right way for their purpose. Shell gritters. That's a female penguin. So that's one other way you can tell a female penguin is if they're walking the wrong way, heading down to the beach, yep, they probably got, it's almost like pregnancy cravings. They need that extra calcium. All right. Oh gosh, and every time I click out of that penguin highway cam, they come along again. So let's go back to it and have another little look. So this is the main penguin highway. A lot of penguins use this flat open space to find their way to their burrows, and they do go to the same burrows night after night. Oh, another shell gritter going the opposite way. Causing a bit of a pile up there. Causing all sorts of confusion, but nope, she's a lady on a mission there. But yep, they're going back to their same homes night after night, maybe back to their partner, as I said. And yep, you can also see the window down the bottom there on the left-hand side is our underground window. So when we can have you back, you can actually buy tickets to stand right up against that window, and you could be face to face with that shell gritter walking the opposite way right now. So it's a really special place to go, so do keep that in mind. All right, 1 minute left. Let's get some last questions, everybody. Tom, who have we got something from?
So Shira asked, how long out in the ocean do they stay?
Yep, great. Okay, so the question is, how long do they stay out in the ocean? Well, look, that's really dependent. Let's see if we can see any more penguins coming in for the moment. Oh, yes. Oh, gosh, another big raft. Oh, wow, look at this. Poor Stephen, everybody. Send your love to Stephen through the comments. He's going to need it. This is a tough night for him. How long do they spend out? Well, it really depends. At the moment, because it's breeding season, ideally, a lot of these penguins would probably only be going out for the day. So they would leave about an hour or two before sunrise, go out swimming, get their fish, and come back that very same night to deliver their babies some fish, or to take over their egg watching duties. Oh, here we go. Look at them. There's so many. Look at those white bellies crossing the rocks there. So yeah, at the moment, probably one day would be good, or maybe a few days if they've only got eggs or something like that. But during the winter time, so for the last few months, some of these penguins might have been out for up to about a month, 28 days. They can be out, and they just live on the water. They need to breathe air. They are birds, so they do need to breathe oxygen, and they need the air. So they'll sort of sleep on the surface of the water at 4 minutes at a time, but otherwise they'll just be swimming, sleeping, and sleeping. And then they might come back, as I said, 28 days later to fix up their burrow, to do a few things on land, maybe have a little rest, and then go right back out. Because, of course, their food is in the ocean. The ocean is their supermarket. So, yep, they can spend 80% of their life out in the ocean, only 20% on land. But, yep, we're doing this live stream at exactly the right time, everybody, because it is the beginning of the breeding season, and that is where we're going to be seeing lots and lots of penguins having a good reason to be here on land. Okay, so we are at the end of our live stream now. So just I'll throw to Tom. Is there anything we need to say before we leave? No, I think we've covered everything. So make sure if you can donate to the Penguin Foundation, do donate. The link is in the description. I'm sorry if we couldn't get to your questions, but somebody, at least on Facebook, somebody should get to your question within the next 24 hours. I hope you've enjoyed the penguins tonight. We're going to be back again tomorrow night at about 6:10 or 6:15 is when we're going to be kicking it off again tomorrow night. We've loved having you here, and we'll see you all again tomorrow. So bye, everyone. Say bye, Tom.
Yeah, folks. Have a good night.
Bye.